Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Edna and Harvey, the Breakout. And last we left off, we managed to get a hold of the spare tire on the sedan by using the wrench. It was the only logical solution. And then, once we got it, we trashed the vehicle as much as we possibly could. We smashed the headlights, we caused this massive dent, and then we scratched the rake along this side of the vehicle. We could probably attack the back of the vehicle as well, but we don't have that as a usable thing, and if we could get into the vehicle itself, oh, the mayhem we could cause. We could rip up the seats, we could tear off the steering wheel, we could splatter ketchup, mustard and spit absolutely everywhere on the windows and everything. But sadly, not only can't we unlock the door, there isn't even a door visible on this side, which means we'll just have to let all that mayhem remain in our head and our dreams. Let's focus on the things that we can do, like looking at this sign here that says P, and then going to check out that watchtower. That's probably going to be important in opening the way to freedom. Also, this car doesn't have a registration there. Curious. Let's look at the sign.
I wonder what this P stands for.
Pighead!
So this must be Dr. Marcel's limo.
Indeed it is. Let's say hi to the sign.
He?
That is indeed the letter.
Somebody's already parked his car here.
That they have. Let us take the sign with us.
Dr. Marcel parked so close that I can't get there.
Darn it. Harvey, what do you think of this sign?
Look, Harvey, a sign.
How could I miss it?
It's obvious.
I don't.
Come.
What's with wouldn't?
What?
There could.
We've heard that one before, but what about using the polo mallet?
I'd love to, but I can't get close enough. The walkable area map ends here.
Once again, the game crushes my dreams. Why can't I walk to it? Why can't I interact with it with the polo mallet? Can I at least lean over and doodle with the pen? Yes, I can. We defied the walkable map area and drew little legs, so now the P can run away whenever it wants to, probably when we leave. Make a break for it. We'll cover you.
In this panel, Handy Boy has to keep out.
Keep out of where? That was a very vague story, Edna.
I'd love to.
We've heard that one before. What about the mustard? Marvelous, the mayhem with the mustard continues! As well it should. And the ketchup is there to help out too. Police badge?
I'm a sheriff, not a meter maid.
But if you were, we could fine Dr. Marcel for parking too close to this sign. And then we'd have a shiny coin, and we'd probably be locked back up in our cell with all our items taken away, and we'd have to start all over again. That would suck. Let's not do that. Let us instead use this signature. Marvelous. This is Dr. Marcel's sign now.
Those are block letters you can find in any typical alphabet soup.
Still might be useful to be able to forge this. Let us use the key.
The message has been locked with an exceptionally devious code. What on earth does this P stand for?
The world will never know, Edna. It'll just never know.
This is where our path forks.
I see what you did there. Very clever game.
I'd love to. The walkable area.
We cannot attack it with the knife because we can't get close enough, but we can get close enough to doodle on it. I'll take what I can get. Now, the phone.
Is this P for payphone?
Nope. Feel free to have another guess.
Ah, you have the same voice as the other sign we've encountered. That makes sense. And you've no idea what to do there, so let's move on to the pinking shears. Which must be really, really hardy if they can slice through that sign. The form does nothing. What about the key?
The message has been locked with an what on earth?
That's the same as when we use the other key. What about the pot?
How do I get to the kitchen?
How should I know? I'm a road sign, not an information board.
But what if you were both, sign? What if you were both?
How do I get to the laundry lift?
How should I know? I'm a road sign, not an information board.
Can we pester you some more? I think we can. Not with that, though. The straw? Marvelous. What about the wrench?
How do I get to the garage?
How should I know? I'm a road sign, not an information board.
I thought out of all the things you would know that one because you're literally connected to the wall that makes up part of the garage.
How do I get to the garage?
How should...
I wonder what the
Pighead.
So
That's the same. Now let us use the rake.
where was the garden again?
How should I know? I'm a road sign, not an information board.
And what about the toenail?
I'd love to. The walkable.
Can't do anything with that. What about the tire?
How do I get to the...
How should...
We've heard that one before. Now, paper cup.
Do you know where I can find a trash can?
How should I know? I'm a road sign, not an information board.
Now that we've exhausted everything we can do with that, let's walk to the front of the house and try and do something silly. Go through the main entrance.
I'd rather not. There's a watchman sitting at reception.
That there is. We don't want to alert them to the fact that we're free. There's not really many places we can go to from here. We can go to the back of the house or to the main gate. And the main gate has a door. And this, that we can't open from here. I bet we can open that from in here, though. So let's dare to go in. We defy the keep out sign. And we're going to examine what's here. We have stairs we can go up, an electricity meter, and some barrels. Barrels are always useful. Hopefully we can have one of these in our inventory.
This is where Dr. Marcel hides his experiments that went wrong.
Are you sure?
No, but the possibility springs to mind, doesn't it?
That it does, and I'm surprised we can't interact with this cobweb. You'd think we'd be able to talk to a spider, but no.
Maybe the tentacle creatures that live there just nipped out to the bakery.
Maybe they did. If we wait long enough, perhaps they'll come back. With bread.
Not a good hiding spot.
No, it's not. It'd be pretty easy to see you from there.
A bit bulky, don't you think?
Only a little. I'm sure we could make room with all the other things that we have, including a tire. We are carrying a tire right now. I'm sure a barrel isn't going to be too much of a stretch, considering a tire is already in our inventory. But the game won't let us pick it up, alas.
Harvey is still in perfect working condition. The last thing I want to do is dispose of him.
Ah, this is a place where we can get rid of things, I see.
Let's knock holes in the barrels.
Come on, Harvey. Think of all the innocent groundwater amoeba.
I like groundwater amoeba. I think of them all day long. That doesn't mean I have to give them room and board.
How many of you think of amoeba all the time? You should. Your actions impact their lives constantly. This is our barrel now. We'll definitely be taking it with us when we leave. We have to. Our name's on it.
In this panel, we see Captain Useless pouring his used oil into the Gulf of Mexico. Obviously, he didn't notice that someone was drawing him in the act.
Captain Useless, how could you? Don't pour oil into the Gulf of Mexico. That's terrible.
No, it's filthy enough.
Filthy enough? Filthy enough?
Are you satisfied now?
Not by a long shot, but it's better now.
But how much better? We'll never know. Excellent. That barrel is much better. And this one is much better too.
It must violate environmental regulations. But on the other hand, my toenails probably do that too. So I'd better keep a low profile on that.
You really can't do that considering how many toenails you've been leaving around this asylum. You're bound to be discovered eventually, Edna. This is now also Dr. Marcel's barrel, which means we don't have to take it along with us anymore.
Oh, no signature to forge here. This item is the least fun of all.
I'm sorry.
It isn't your fault, buddy.
Are you referring specifically to the inventory item? I think you are. That's awesome.
No, if I drop it in there, I'll probably never find it again.
That is the game blatantly hinting that we will lose things if we put them in there. I'm gonna have to save before we use the cup and the cocktail glass.
Let's knock holes in the barrels.
Come on, Harvey.
We've already had that one. What about the knife?
Let's knock holes.
Come on.
And that's the same too. What about the barkeeper's signature? The barkeeper can have that one. Phone?
I don't know the number of the EPA. Besides, I don't call them anymore. Not since the mishap.
You're not going to elaborate on that, are you? No, you're not.
This could be an ingredient for the stinky drink.
Many things could be an ingredient of the stinky drink. They just have to be terrible.
Let's knock holes in the barrel.
Come on.
You are really keen on knocking holes in the barrel, aren't you?
No, if I want to read something filthy, I'll get Going Rogue by Sarah Palin.
Let's move on to the key.
No, if I drop,
We've heard that before. Now the pot.
I'll fill up the glass here. And now, cheers. Ah, finally I got rid of the stinky drink taste.
What did you get rid of it with? You're not going to tell me, are you? Probably not, but I doubt what's in there tasted very good. It still probably tasted better than stinky drink, though.
Angling for fish in there won't do anything. Besides, the figure of speech is shooting fish in a barrel.
And we don't have anything that goes kaplow. I'm gonna wait on that one. Straw? Actually, I should probably wait on my straw as well. Wrench?
Let's knock holes.
Come on.
The same thing as we got from any of the other ones? What about the jumper cables?
I have an idea, Edna. We'll connect one end of the cable to the electricity meter and use sparks to light the old oil in the barrels. This will distract the guard, and we'll be able to sneak past him.
Darn it. This isn't any crazier than everything else we've done today, or anything that's considered a puzzle in other games. But we can't do it nonetheless. Pokey just didn't account for the player trying that.
Uh-oh. So how do we get out of this predicament?
Just say something crazy. What's wrong?
I can't do crazy on command.
That was an amazing exchange. Well played. Well played indeed. That did give away that there's a guard above us, but I was presuming there was.
Let's knock holes.
Come on.
That's the same as all the other ones. Toenail?
Whew.
You drunk that to get the taste of stinky drink out of your mouth? Ugh. Finally, the tire.
No, it's filthy enough.
Filthy enough?
Are you sad?
Not.
And now we're going to save because we're surely going to end up getting rid of something while we are trying to put the more disposable items into the barrels. I imagine the filthy paper cup is going to literally dissolve immediately. In fact, it will probably dissolve before we put it in the barrel, but let's start with the straw.
Tastes like French fries from the cafeteria.
Is that a compliment or an insult? I don't know.
I'll fill up the glass here. And now? Ah,
That's the same. And finally, paper cup.
I'll fill up the glass here. And now? Ah,
Wow! The paper cup was actually able to store that liquid without disintegrating. That is an achievement indeed. Now let us look at this electricity meter.
they're using too much energy. It's like somebody is switching the light on and off all the time.
I think this is going to have most of the same dialogue as the other meter that we found.
21,009, 21,
21.
21 messed up.
Yes, it is. So let's use the new items that we have, like the jumper cable.
There's a hatch covering it. I can't connect to the meter.
Alas, maybe we'll have to get that open. Wrench?
Nah, it doesn't use electricity.
That it does not. What about the rake?
Nah,
What about the tire? Can we use the tire on this?
nah.
We can, but we didn't get anything for it. Straw?
Nah,
Okay, let's try a toenail to open this.
nah,
That won't work. Master key?
nah,
That didn't work either. Coat hanger.
nah.
Okay, we're not really going to make any progress with this at all. So I'm going to do the thing that I know we're going to have to do, which is use the water cup here.
I'll just put it there. It won't bother anyone here.
No, it won't. And now it's gone. What about the cocktail glass?
Nah.
Can't do anything with that. So now we're going to have to go and get another cup. Some may question why I'm doing this. The answer is simple. We need that cup. That cup is going to be useful at some point. Also, Edna can really move through that area quickly. Have you ever considered being an Olympic athlete? You could run the 100 meters faster than anyone alive. Now let us attack this with the wrench some more.
Uh-oh.
Distraction created.
Who was that?
It was me, causing a distraction so that I can get back into the asylum and get another paper cup. And while I'm here, I might as well see the interactions that I will get when I use these items on the TV and the ashtray, and of course, the shelf of infinite board games. But first things first, the important thing.
This one is as soaked and filthy as the last one. And I bet it's just as useless, too.
Keep saying that, Edna. I will never stop believing. Never. Let's go down. Nothing we can do here, per se. This is the floor we want. And this is the room that we want. Oh! Hello, Alamin. What are you doing here?
He's feeding on radiation from the monitors.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Hello.
Hello, Alu. Oh, champ.
Ah, hello, Edna. Still trying to break out?
That I am.
I have the master key. We can skedaddle now.
Take it easy, child. Have you found out how to get through the main gate yet?
No, but I'm gonna lie to you.
We'll build a hot air balloon from styrofoam and just float out of here.
As if we haven't already tried that. But the air in these mountains is so thin that the styrofoam doesn't get enough buoyancy. You'll have to think of something less far-fetched.
Wait, you seriously tried that?
We'll get a good running start and jump over the wall. At its lowest point. When the wind is favorable. Hello? Why don't you say anything?
I'll put it this way. I don't want to explicitly advise against it, but if it doesn't work, you should take it as a sign that perhaps you don't belong on the other side of the wall.
Cryptic.
We'll pray to Vishnu to make us invisible and we'll just sneak past.
That would be an excellent plan. If only Vishnu didn't have an axe to grind with me. He's still mad at me because I ruined his MP3 player during the last transit of Venus. I left it in the shower while I was scaling the tofu. The water washed Vishnu's favorite sticker off the case. Yadu Yaluri of the Indian Olympic cricket team of '88 was there too. I'm afraid Vishnu will certainly not be inclined to help us. So you can forget about that plan.
But it was such a perfect plan. You ruined it, Alamin, without even realizing it.
We'll open a restaurant and cook our way out.
Not a bad idea, actually. But where do we get the ingredients?
That's a good question. This is the sensible one.
We'll get a vehicle and outwit the watchman at the gate.
That idea is so crazy, it simply has to work. Tell me when you found a suitable vehicle.
I think we found one, but let's ask these questions. We know the answer to that one.
Do you have an idea how I could get past the main gate?
I'm afraid not. The main gate can only be opened by pressing a button in the watchtower. and it's best not to tangle with the watchman who is responsible for it. It will prove hard to lure him away. And then there's the fact that we're a bit off the beaten track around here. The asylum is situated on a mountain, you know, and the only route leading away is a narrow road. You wouldn't get far on foot. They'd have you back in custody in no time flat.
That's gonna be tricky to drive down. I hope the Keymaster is capable of doing that.
Why don't you eat in the cafeteria?
They removed the TV from there a long time ago. There was this incident once. A room full of loonies, sharp-edged cutlery, and the Ewoks. Believe me, that is an explosive mix.
Why would anyone subject you to the Ewok show?
I'll come back later.
Now let us see about using these items on the TV.
The jumper cable has a thing for science fiction.
The best kind is when humankind is overrun by mechanical creatures.
Not surprised that you like science fiction. Rake?
The rake exclusively watches gardening programs.
Especially the new shows that start up each fall.
It's the leaves, isn't it? You like watching the leaves. Wrench?
The wrench watches Pimp My Ride.
What can I say? I'm a West Coast wrench.
That also makes sense. What about the tire?
The spare tire likes Formula One racing.
I could have been there too, but I was afraid of burning out too fast.
Ah well, and while we're here, we have new items that we can use on the ashtray.
Maybe it's a little chalk block.
More like a choke block. I can barely breathe looking at this thing.
And now, the wrench.
It could be some kind of puzzle box.
Well, don't use that on it, or we'll just screw it up.
Get it? Wrench? Never mind. Jumper cables?
It could be some kind of electric hot plate.
It's certainly for leftovers anyway, but not the same kind, I don't think.
What about the rake?
It could be the base for a new garden gnome.
Or all that's left of the last one.
What happened to the last one? We'll never know. Coat hanger?
It could be an unfinished coat rack.
Or perfectly completed art.
Is it art? Who can say? Master key.
Maybe it's just a doorstop.
Any visitor would stop dead in their tracks and consider turning right around.
That they would. What about the cocktail glass?
It could be a cup holder for the armrest.
Now you're just being silly, Edna. You know chairs don't drink.
Or do they? Straw?
It might be a punch bowl.
It'd need to be seriously spiked to get me to drink out of it.
I think we've used all the items that we hadn't before on that. Now it's time to go and check out... Ooh, there's practically no one here now to check out the shelf of infinite board games.
There's another game here. Gardening Fun with Bert and Ernie.
Is it really gardening fun? Or is it just gardening?
There's another game here. Electricity.
That one certainly doesn't surprise me. What about the wrench?
There's another game here. Mr. James has some screws loose.
Good thing we have this wrench here. Tire?
There's another game here. Formula One craps game.
That doesn't sound very exciting at all. Now let's just pop over here so that we can show this to the sign.
How do I get to the garage?
Hard to say. I only know the way to the phone.
Ah, ever helpful. What about this?
Where was the garden again?
Hard to say. I only know the way to the phone.
Fair enough. Let's go and see if Adrian's here. Adrian is not here, and there's nothing in here we can interact with whatsoever, so let's just leave. And see if there's anyone in here. No! No one in here at all! Makes sense, they've all been called to lunch. What about in here? They're not here either. Fair enough. What about in here? Is B-Man still here? If B-Man isn't here, can we finally take the crayons? Oh, can we take them?
No, My ballpoint pen is in a different league altogether.
Edna, we can take them! He's not here! We can add them to our inventory. Why? Why do you refuse to take them? So much mayhem! Oh, but alas, it just will not be. Nobody here, which means that there'll be nobody here when we go and use these new items on the ashtray.
I know. Keep the spare tire ready. I'll scare the ashtray, and you can...
Give it up, buddy. This ashtray has no other function than stubbing out cigarettes in it.
Indeed. What about the wrench?
I know. Wrench! I mean, wrench! Wrench!
Give it up, buddy. This ashtray has no other function than stubbing out cigarettes in it.
And now we'll try the jumper cables.
I know. If we connect the jumper cable with the ashtray, we can...
Give it up, buddy. This ashtray has no other function than stubbing out cigarettes in it.
I'll find the secret use, Edna. You'll see.
I know. Rake and ashtray. Brilliant.
Give it up, buddy. This ashtray has no other function than stubbing out cigarettes in it.
And so, when we come back, folks, I think what we need to do now is we need to inform the Keymaster that we have found a vehicle. A vehicle we can't drive. Makes sense that we can't drive it. We were probably never taught. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. Isn't it handy that we can now use the stairs to get from place to place? Especially now that we can't use the laundry lift system. I imagine the person that supervised it is very upset about that. Also, I want to go up a floor, not down. Silly me! And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.